Sometimes we have injuries in our body that are a little bit inconvenient for us, so we're looking for strategies to help us relieve out of that. Today we're going to be talking about how to minimize your sciatic pain. And before we get into our movement routine, I just want to go through and help you understand what is sciatica. So firstly, there is a nerve in our body called the sciatic nerve. So that's why it's called sciatica. Where does it run? Well, it comes out of the spine, out of the sacrum, along the back of the gluteal line, which is often why you get pain in your buttocks. It runs down the back of the leg. It splits off into a few different versions, and then down the calf all the way towards the Achilles and the foot area. So that full line of the sciatic nerve is often where you get radiating pain coming down the back of the leg. Depending on whether it is a muscle tightness squeezing on the sciatic nerve, which is called the piriformis muscle, or whether it's coming from a disc bulge or a stenosis in your spine, you can often then get referring pain going up your back. So it's always important to make sure that you've actually had this properly diagnosed, so that we know exactly what to do. But we're going to go through some gentle moves today that are going to be just easy for most people to get through. So the first thing we're going to think of is nerves don't stretch, right? So it's not like a muscle. We want to slide and glide our nerves. So depending on how comfortable you are, most people can tolerate lying onto the back. So we'll get a towel and we're going to bring ourselves down onto our backside. So feeling the head supported by the towel. And then the leg that got your pain referral, we'll start with that one first. So you're going to lengthen your leg out away from you, keeping the other knee bent. And you're just going to start with a point and a flex of your ankle. So as we're doing this, we're getting the gliding motion of your nerve going through the muscles from the base of the spine all the way towards your foot. Now, when we work in these areas, it's always important to make sure that you're staying within a comfortable range of comfort. So if you're getting shooting pain and it's getting worse, if you feel like there's a jaggedness to it, if it feels intense and hot, if it feels like it's got a color to it, you know, those are signs from your body just to back off of the range of movement or the number of repetitions that you're doing. Let's go into a circling around at your ankle. So we'll just do about 3 circles in each direction, and keeping the leg out long like this should feel pretty good through the back of you. And then from there, we're going to bring that leg up towards you. Now, as I mentioned, depending on what's going on with your lower back, if you've got a disc bulge or a stenosis going on, we'll see how you feel. So the aim is to try and get your knee to come close toward you. If you can manage to take your hands over the front of your shin, pull the leg in closely, but don't let your pelvis roll onto the floor and backwards. So we've got the pelvis staying still. So we're just trying to get the knee to come in a little bit. So if your comfort is okay and you would like to, you can try straighten the opposite leg away. It's going to increase the stretch just a little bit. So again, you've got to make sure that you're using your own tolerance level. It's pointless going too far and then getting worse. So from here, we're going to bring the leg and just cross it over the midline a little bit and then back, and over the midline and back. So I mentioned a condition called PIRIFORMIS syndrome, which is the muscle that can grab and tighten over the sciatic nerve, because the sciatic nerve runs through that muscle. So when we bring the leg across, we're actually stretching that muscle out and then relaxing, and again stretching it and returning it. Now let's take the hand to the other side, and we're just going to go for a little bit of a roll to the leg out to the side in a turnout position. I'm using my hand onto my hip on the other leg just to make sure I don't roll my whole pelvis over. So I just want my leg bone to be tilting out and tilting in, and then bringing all of that back in. So we'll just rest there for a moment. Keep your foot on the floor. Now we go to do the other side, because even though we're going to point and flex, so we'll just start pointing and flexing through the ankle. Even though you have one side affected, nothing works alone in the body. So we're going to be doing movement that talks to everything. So we have a left and we have a right. They might feel different, but they still need to be balanced with each other. Because if you're taking too much load on the other leg because you've got an affected leg, you know, there's new stuff going to be happening on the other side. Let's add 3 little ankle circles to each direction. And then again, we're going to get our knee to come up toward us. So holding on to the top of the shin, just relaxing that leg into a nice deep fold here. Now, because they could feel vastly different, you may feel no symptoms on the side. You may feel no tightness or anything, and that's okay. Doesn't matter, you're still getting benefit. If it's comfortable, lengthen out through your affected leg. And again, just holding deep in towards you. We're going to start to move that leg just across the center line and back. So when I'm moving my leg across, I'm not letting my hip roll with me. So again, just that leg like a little pendulum swinging to the inside, or a metronome is what I'm thinking of right now. Do you like my sound effects? And then taking it to the other side. And again, I've just got my hand gently resting onto my hip just to encourage my pelvis to stay balanced underneath me and not to rock with the leg. And then one more time like so. And then bringing it all the way back in again. So now, if you can tolerate it, we're going to bring your leg and put it into a cross-legged position, so a figure 4. If this is not for you, go back and do the same sequence we just did with the leg where your knee was straight up. So we're going to hold on with your opposite hand now towards the outside edge of your knee. So this one is going to be a little deeper. So we started more in the turnout, and now we're pulling your knee across your center, and then we're going to relax it out again. And again, drawing it across the center, so we're getting that lengthening of your piriformis muscle, and release. And we'll do that one more time, across center, and then releasing out. And then we'll change our leg over, opposite hand to outside of leg, and then pulling it into the midline and releasing it further away. And again, drawing it in and away. So as I mentioned, the two sides will feel vastly different. So don't worry about having to feel the stretch. You will be doing plenty of good work for your body, and then resting down from there. So remember, we said that, you know, the sciatic nerve is the largest nerve, thickest nerve, but it's connected to all the other nerves. So we're just going to have a little stretch of our arms going all the way over behind you, and you're going to flex your wrists and aim your fingertips down towards the floor, and then you're going to point your fingers and aim them down towards the floor. So the arms travel up and over, the wrists point backwards, the fingers point downward, and then you send the fingers long and towards the edge of your mat. So just getting that motion. So this is going to mimic very similar motions to what we did when we did the point and the flex through the ankle. And then one more time to rest your arms all the way down. From here, we'll send the arms up to the ceiling. We're going to flick your palms to face out and away from you, and then tipping those fingers down towards the floor, and then bringing the hands back up. So aiming your fingers down, stretching through the wrist line, and depending on how you feel through your nerves, you might even start to feel this a little bit into your chest muscles. And one more time, sending the arms out and away. So we're going to bring our legs nice and close together. So tilting over towards your side, and make sure that your cushion or your pillow, towel, whatever you have, is supportive for your head to be in balance with your spine. We don't want to have your head down. That's not going to be very clever for the system. So speaking of injuries and all sorts, obviously Bear has a little injury. So we're working out together, aren't we, Bear? So we're going to do a little rotation now. So sending yourself backward, twisting in your upper body, and then coming forward again. So if you happen to have any disc issues, then what you don't want to do is twist through your lower back, so close to where the top of the pelvis is. But twisting above that is okay. In fact, it's probably really good to open yourself up and give yourself some breathing space. So when we have injury, we know that the diaphragm, the breathing muscles, they seem to contract because they're trying to keep everything nice and safe for you. All right, from here, this is my non-affected leg. So what I'm going to start to do is lift my foot away from the bottom one and then return. So again, this is the angle that we created for our stretching of our piriformis muscle, which runs from the back of the sacrum all the way to the bump here on the side of your leg. And this is lengthening it as the foot is going up. So we're spinning the thigh bone in and then resting it out. We'll do one more time like that, and then easing off. So we're going to go and change our direction. You could roll over if you want to. I'm just going to bring myself up and switch direction. Of course, I do everything in my life to please my dog, so I don't want to disrupt him too much. And we start all over again. So we set ourselves up, lying the head, the shoulders, and the pelvis together. Arms are starting on top of each other, and then we're going to roll the chest open and then close it back in. So sometimes when we have injuries and we're just so fixated on trying to make it go away because it's all consuming, we forget that we're an entire body and that everything is connected. So by making you do movements that are not related to your injury is part of helping everything become better. Last one is we send the arm backward and then bringing it forward. From here, we're going to now work, this is my affected leg. We're going to raise the leg and lower. So again, your tolerance level, your range of movement will be different perhaps to mine, but we're just trying to keep knees touching in and getting that feeling of your thigh bone rolling in and then returning to its natural state. And you may find this actually gives it some good relief as we're doing this motion. And then we'll do one more time, and then we'll rest from there. We're going to flip over onto your belly area. So now as we come on, we're just going to have a position where we're lying onto our forearms. So having your belly supported on the ground, move your towel away. This is harder than you think. So elbows are on the ground. And now if your lower back has a sense of pinching when you're in this position, then go fully flat. So if you can, we're just going to drop your shoulders between your arms, and then we're going to reach the chest bone up, pushing it between the shoulder blades, and then sinking down. And again, floating your body up away from the floor. So you get a good stretch between your shoulders. Make sure your head is up and not dropped down, because that'll put pressure on the nerves, as we'll find out pretty soon. And then lift, pressing tall, and then lower. We've got one more time to lift us up. Now, again, everything is based off of your ability. So we're going to nod the head down, chin to throat, and then lift the head up. And nod the head down and lift the head up. Now we want to do this with a pushed up position away from the floor, otherwise it's going to feel fairly terrible to do this movement. Last one here. And then have a little relax between the shoulders and again push the floor away. So use your affected leg first. We're going to slide your toes towards you, getting a stretch through the calf and the ankle, and then slide your toe away. And again, pull your toes toward you and away. Now I keep my knee on the ground on this one. I'm just getting that ankle pumping motion, similar to when we lay on our back and started to do that movement. And we'll go one more time on this side. And then we're going to switch sides. So as I mentioned, if it's not feeling good in your lower back area, just bring yourself down so you can rest. You can put the towel underneath you. You could even put the towel underneath your rib cage just to make sure you're feeling comfortable in your back body. Let's do the other side. So we're going to be lifting the foot and lowering it, or tucking the toes under and stretching it away. And then we'll do 3 more of those. And then a last one to go. From here, we're going to push you up onto an all fours position. So onto hands and knees you go. And for most people, this actually can feel quite relieving. Let's see if Bear will sit in the center of me. There we go. Good boy. All right, so from this position, we're just going to make a neutral position of our spine, which means our head and shoulders are lifted higher than our pelvis. You've got a natural curve that appears in your neck area crease and a natural curve that appears in your lower back area. So in this position, we're just breathing. You're going to breathe into your belly wall, letting the belly distend to the mat. And then as you exhale, can you draw the belly up, but without rounding your back or changing anything in your spine? So we inhale to drop the belly and exhale to lift. Now, it's not really a lift, well, I suppose it is, but I get a sense that as I'm breathing out, I feel 2 sides wrapping around me. So kind of like a seat belt wraps around you. around the center part of you. And exhale up. Now, if you're comfortable there, that should feel quite nice just in this position. We're going to go for a little rock forward and backward, maintaining the position of your spine. So if you go too far back towards your feet, your spine is going to want to start to round under. So we've got to avoid that. So you're not going to be on your feet. And then to the front and to the back. And again, to the front and to the back. We'll do one more time, traveling towards the front. From here, we're going to take a position. Now, it's up to you. You could sit on your feet if you're able to, and kneeling. You could sit on your bottom if that's more favorable for you. You could sit on a chair if that's easier. You could even do this high kneeling or standing. So there are multiple ways. This is not about the position of where you're sitting. This is about getting a new movement into your spine, and that's a side bend. So we're going to place a hand towards the floor, and you're just going to reach over. Now, I'm not dropping low to the floor. I'm really focusing on that nerve lengthening from my fingertips all the way through the side of my body down towards my hip, and then bringing myself up. And I'll do the same going in the opposite way. So sending the fingers out and over towards the wall, and then bringing it back. And again, over and reach. So see the difference. I'm not dropping low. I'm just lengthening through the nerve lining in my body. And then one more time as I take it over towards that side, and then bringing it back up. There are multiple ways to work with this type of condition, and I've just shared only a few different variations. Please remember that you need to work with your own body and at your own pace and level of comfort. If things get worse, stop doing what you're doing and make sure that you have a proper diagnosis. But hopefully with some of these moves, you're going to start to feel better and better. Time is what we need to give ourselves to heal. Have a great day. See you again soon.